So, 2 years ago, a struggling mom reached out on a local Facebook group asking if someone could help her buy Christmas gifts for her daughter. And honestly, my heart broke for her. I answered her plea, and I helped her out. It felt good. The next year, she reached back out. She'd had a second child, had to quit her job to care for her sick mother, and had apparently sold a car just so she and her husband could make ends meet. I didn't even hesitate. I helped her again. After that second Christmas, she sent me a thank you message and a friend request. I accepted, and that's when everything changed. Her profile was full of TikTok posts, designer shopping hauls, expensive nail appointments, fancy coffee shops. She was living as a novice influencer, showing off luxury after luxury, while telling people she couldn't afford gifts for her own kids. I just sat there scrolling through her page, feeling like a complete fool. 2 weeks ago, she reached out again. 3rd year in a row, asking me to buy Christmas gifts for her 2 kids. I didn't respond right away. I needed to think about it. But I didn't want to just ghost her either, so I finally messaged her back and told her I wouldn't be helping this year. I said it as politely as I could, that it was clear to me that her inability to afford Christmas gifts didn't come from being down on her luck. It came from irresponsible financial decisions. If you're enjoying this story, hit subscribe. We post new ones like this every single week. I even tried to help in a different way. I suggested she check out some of the cheaper stores where I do my own shopping. Ross, Marshalls, Burlington. Places where you can actually find great stuff without breaking the bank. I thought I was being reasonable. I thought I was being kind. But she absolutely exploded on me. She called me an asshole for shaming her. She said she was just trying to make a living for her kids by becoming an influencer. Like, the audacity. But she didn't stop there. She went back to that same local Facebook group, the one where she originally begged for help 2 years ago, and she put me on blast. She posted my full name, a screenshot of my Facebook profile, and she threw in accusations that I was racist, sexist, and a cruel person. All because I told her no. All because I refused to fund her lifestyle for a 3rd year in a row. I haven't responded yet because I genuinely don't know if it's better to stay quiet or expose everything. Some people told me I should have just helped her again, that I have a stable job and she's just a young mom. But I disagree. Being generous once is kindness. Being generous twice is compassion. But being asked to fund someone's children's Christmas for a 3rd year, while they're buying designer bags and getting their nails done, that's not generosity anymore. That's being used. Smash that like button if you think she was dead wrong for trying to guilt me into helping again, and drop a comment telling me what you would have done. Now, here's where things take a completely different turn. For those who followed my original post, I need to give you an update on my own life. I spent several years working as a stripper, and by the end of it, I had saved enough to buy my own flat. Outright. My money. My place. I'd been with my boyfriend for about 18 months at that point, and I had just found out I was 3 months pregnant. When he found out about the baby, the first thing out of his mouth wasn't excitement. It wasn't joy. He told me he wanted me to sell my flat, so we could use the money to get a new place together. When I said no, he called me irrational. My own sister even sided with him. Between the two of them, I was genuinely starting to believe I was in the wrong. Like somehow protecting what I'd earned with years of hard work made me the bad guy. So, I dumped him. And that's when the real him came out. First he said he didn't want to be a parent if we weren't together. Fine, but it's fine. But then, earlier that week, he came back and said he wanted majority custody. And you want to know why? Not because he loves this child. Not because he wants to be a father. He actually told me, one day, that if he gets majority custody, he wouldn't have to pay child support, and instead, I would have to pay him. He actually said that, out loud, with his whole chest. And it gets worse. He admitted that his startup was basically done for. Finished. And the real reason he wanted me to sell my flat was so I could inject cash into his failing business. This entire time, the relationship, the pressure, the guilt trips, It was all about my money. Every single bit of it. But here's the thing. I have extensive documentation of everything. Every message. Every admission. Every word he said. He handed me my entire legal case on a silver platter. There's going to be a legal case. But I've already gotten legal advice, and it looks like I'll be able to get sole custody. Which is exactly what I'm going for. And then there's my sister. She doubled down, telling me I need to fix things with my ex because, and I quote, "a baby should have a complete family." So I stopped involving her in my pregnancy. And she is furious about that. She also told our parents about everything, which I am furious about. So right now, we're not speaking. I also want to say something. When I first posted my story, between my boyfriend and my sister, I was genuinely convinced I was the problem. That I was being selfish for wanting to keep what I earned. But the response I got was overwhelming. Thousands of people telling me I was right. That I shouldn't doubt myself. And honestly, that changed something in me. I realized I'd been letting other people define my worth, and I'm done with that. I've decided to start therapy next week, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm in control. So here's where things stand. The manipulative boyfriend is gone. The enabling sister is on mute. The legal case is in motion. And me? I'm going to be a single mother, in the flat that I own, that I bought with my own money, that I earned myself. And honestly, that's a pretty decent outcome. If this story hits you in the feels, subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss one. And tell me in the comments, what would you have said to that boyfriend when he admitted it was all about the money?